don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
Oh man, Harmon Smith is back at it again with Expedition 33. Let's get into it.
Smith. I am a scholar and an enthusiast of Japanese RPGs.
Congratulations. Would you like a brownie button?
I've played every single one that exists. I've studied these games extensively. I've written entire books about their themes and their ideas. You know, Final Fantasy VI was my favorite game of all time. It was.
That's a shocker. I would have guessed it would have been some type of Nintendo game. I would have thought it was Princess Peach Showtime.
For a very long time, that game was not eclipsed. It was not surpassed. It was my favorite game ever. And now I look at my...
Okay, congratulations. Let's get to the point already. I ain't got all damn day.
30-year-old cartridge and want to throw it in my toilet.
Oh god, can you imagine how bad that toilet is? We see how bad your damn drinking glass looks. I can only imagine what your piss pot looks like.
You know, because Expedition 33 was so much better than any JRPG I've ever played, you know?
I know that he's just joking. I'm just waiting for him to be like, psych, you actually thought I would say that? There's no way. He has never said a single good thing about Expedition 33.
Think that the French have proven themselves to be better Japanese RPG developers than the actual Japanese, because...
Wow, I wouldn't really call it a JRPG. I would pretty much just call it a RPG. But do you understand there isn't a whole lot of difference between a Western RPG and a JRPG? One just happens to be made in the West and one happens to be made in Japan. Now, there is a little bit of difference for the art style. The JRPGs is more of an anime type art style, but the fundamentals are pretty much the same.
Expedition 33, with its unique combat system and its incredible, engaging story that surpasses everything that's ever been told in any fictional media ever. Like,
Okay, I haven't finished the game. I've only played a little bit of it, but that might be saying a stretch. Now, the combat, absolutely. I agree with the combat on any type of turn-based RPG. But when it comes to the story, Legend of Dragoon will always have a special place in my heart.
Expedition 33 is by far the best Japanese role-playing game ever. And
come on, Harmon. I know that you don't actually mean this, okay? I'm not going to give you credit for actually waking up. I see the way you're smiling. You're trying so hard to hold it back. Just unleash the Harmon already.
Having finished the game, done every single side quest, you know, 100% completionist, like, this has now surpassed...
Now I know you're full of shit. You can't even beat Super Monkey Ball, and you think you're going to beat that game?
Final Fantasy VI as the greatest game ever made. And it really needs to be said.
Come on, Harmon. I'm not going to fall for it. You might be able to make other people fall for it, but I know that you're lying. I can see through it. Just finally come out with it already. Unleash the inner Harmon. Just keep it away from the Pikachu.
It really needs to be said that anybody who says otherwise is a casual. You know, anyone who says otherwise is a Nintendo fan. Anybody who says otherwise...
Oh, here it comes. He's finally letting it out. Let it out, Harmon.
Is stuck in the past and can't look to the glorious future in which the French dominate the video game industry. Like, even the French government.
Okay, you put way too much trust into the French already. They made one good game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Are releasing statements about how great Expedition 33 is. You know, Ubisoft...
It is great. Maybe if you played it.
Is going to take over the world. Like, Expedition 33.
Yeah, no one thinks that Ubisoft is going to take over the world. Maybe 20 years ago they might have.
Is one example as to just how great the French are at producing video games.
Okay, they made one video game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They still have a long way to go to be established something like that. But if they continue on with the formula, yes.
You know, this game far surpasses anything that's ever been produced ever in Japan. You know, it's better than Dragon Quest. It's better than Suikoden.
Most likely. I haven't played either of those games, but most likely.
It's better than Shin Megami Tensei. It's better than Persona. It's better than...
It's better than everything besides Legend of Dragoon. Nothing will ever beat that.
Tactics Ogre, you know, like it's better than Disgaea. It's better than Rune Factory. It's better than Paper Mario. It's
Yes, it is better than Paper Mario. Didn't you talk negative about Paper Mario?
better than Fire Emblem, and it is better than every single Final Fantasy
I mean, it's not hard to beat Fire Emblem here.
ever produced. You know, Final Fantasy, which any real JRPG fan would tell you is the cream of the crop when it comes to the genre, and
I mean, it used to be. They haven't produced a top-notch JRPG since Final Fantasy X.
actually invented the concept, has been surpassed by this French game made by French people. You know,
Harmon, do you hate French people? I mean, you look like you might be a descendant of French.
the Japanese RPGs have now become French RPGs because we are no longer going to compare.
No, they made one game. Okay, one game is not going to sit there and create a whole new genre like that. Are you kidding me?
Other RPGs to Final Fantasy VI, we are going to compare them to Expedition 33 because this is a game that will be played 100 years from now.
No, it'll probably be a different Expedition game.
This is a game that is going to be seen as the best of the decade. This is a game that we talked about and played for years.
Yes, I'm glad that you can accept this, even though I do not believe you for 1 second. I have reacted to enough of him to know when he's full of it.
You know, because so many people like myself who have spent thousands of hours playing JRPGs over the years know and understand just how great this game actually is and just how.
Harmon, unlike you, I have a life, so I have not spent thousands of hours in those games, but I have spent hundreds of hours, played many JRPGs, played every single Final Fantasy from 7 and on. I never played before 7, just unfortunately never got into those games at that time. I didn't get into the whole RPG genre until the PlayStation 1 came out anyways. But I can sit there and concede that Expedition 33 is a phenomenal game.
It surpasses everything else the Japanese have been able to do in this specific genre.
Yes, they have.
Of course, you know, Western RPGs are and always have been better than JRPGs in every way, shape, and form. And, you know, there is no disputing that, you know.
There are a lot that are good. Wow, maybe Harmon is really turning over a new leaf. No, I'm just joking. He's being full of shit. He's making a parody. He's joking around. This is not the real Harmon.
Final Fantasy VI, as much as I love it, is objectively inferior to games like Starfield or Skyrim or the like. You know, those games are just so expansive and they're just.
Okay, Harmon, now you're just going overboard, okay? I know you're trying to make a little parody, but Starfield, really? No one's going to hold that game in that high of a regard.
They just have such huge budgets, and like you can spend endless amount of times like wandering around those empty fields.
I mean, you don't have to have a large budget to make an amazing game. Look at Expedition 33.
There's just no competing with that. You know, the Japanese have been failing to compete with Western RPGs for honestly forever. You know, ever since they are.
That is true. Western RPGs have been taking over the world for a long time, but the problem is they've grown stale. They've grown a little boring. Look what they had to do. Expedition 33 had to come out with something like that to make it better.
Now, outside of we also now have the French entering the ring, and the Japanese just can't compete. Now, I'm a huge fan of Japanese RPGs. You know, I love them. You know, Final Fantasy VI until just recently was my favorite game of all time. But
well, Harmon, we are all proud of you that you finally were able to play a big boy game.
It really needs to be said that they really cannot compete in any way, shape, or form. You know, the Japanese format is tired. It's
unfortunately it is
boring. I don't want to play these turn-based RPGs with their random encounters and their poor visuals and just their.
Well, Harmon, we all know you're fine with playing with poor visuals. Just look at your webcam for crying out loud. I know that's off of your laptop.
Emphasis on anime-inspired storytelling. You know, I want to be in a realistic Western setting with realistically rendered characters with plots that just.
There you go, Harmon. Now you're getting it. Now when are you going to let the real Harmon out already? It's almost the end of the video. I know you're not going to keep this up forever.
Cater to my specific tastes. You know, we do need like more women in these games. We do need more diversity
Hey, I'm all for women, especially if they're attractive women. I'm all for that. Let's do it.
in skin color. And we do need these games to emphasize our unique values.
Sure, I agree with you. Now when are you going to let the real Harmon out already?
Expedition 33 is better than any JRPG that has ever been produced.
All right, well, that's going to be it for the video. Now, if anybody knows Harmon, they all know that Harmon's full of shit right now. He is doing a parody. He does not really feel like this. There is no way that he feels like this game is better than JRPGs. This man loves Nintendo. He really needs to go, or he loves Japan. I mean, this man needs to go move to Japan. Please, the Japanese people, if you're watching, please take them. We will let you have him. We will not fight you for him. I promise. We will gladly let you guys give him citizenship, and we will buy his plane ticket to send him over there. Well, that's it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty too.